What's going on, guys? This is Political Youth, and this is my first upload on the channel. What I'm going to do on this channel is I'm basically going to explain my viewpoints on politics, depending on what topic we're talking about during the day. And I'm just going to basically give my viewpoint on why I believe what I believe and why I think, y'all should believe what I'm going to believe. Obviously, I'm going to try to change your mind, basically. I'm basically the new Steven Crowder, but I'm 17. And yeah, I'm a Republican, so I'm going to believe a lot of the right-wing type, you know, things. But we'll get into it later. But for right now, let's get right into it. Okay, first topic we're going to talk about on this channel is gun control. Gun control is probably one of the most brought up topics in today's society, and basically it comes down to right wings believe that the Second Amendment should be protected, and left wing believes they shouldn't. And not even as much as the left wing believes they shouldn't, but it's more they believe more regulation should be put on it and stuff like that. But one thing that I want to start off with this is a lot of people get guns wrong. They don't know what a gun actually is or like what it actually does. They just tell everybody why they shouldn't have them because they just think they know everything, and that's wrong. One of the main things that people have had an issue with is the difference between a semi-automatic, an automatic, and a freaking bolt-action rifle. Okay, they're all three completely different things for everybody who knows what a gun is, obviously. And the three different types of guns. We'll start off with fully automatic. Fully automatic weapons fire repeatedly. You hold the bullet, you hold the trigger down, and it just keeps firing. It'll just unload until it runs out of ammo or it jams. But we won't talk about that. So a fully automatic weapon is almost impossible to attain in America. I've seen a lot of politicians say, "Oh, all these fully automatic assault rifles being used in public shooting." It's not. If you have a fully automatic rifle, A, you either got it illegally, or B, you just have like a great license and you've probably been in the military and you're some high up general. I don't know. There's like nobody from America that doesn't have some high up ranking is going to get their hands on a fully automatic weapon. So now that that's cleared up, no public or mass shootings besides I think the Las Vegas one used one. No public or mass shootings are very common with a fully automatic weapon. Like it's very very rare. You never see them. So the one that mainly people talk about is the AR-15. Another misconception is that AR stands for assault rifle. It actually stands for Armalite rifle, which is the name of the company that built it. An AR-15 shoots a 223, which is a small bullet. 223 is the caliber of a bullet, and 223 means that it's 0.223 of an inch in diameter. So however round the actual bullet is, not the round, like the bullet itself, like the projectile that shoots out of the bullet, is 0.223 inches wide, okay? And then there are a whole bunch of different types of calibers. There's 50 cal, 9 mil, 223, 5.56. 223 and 5.56 are basically the exact same thing. They're just in different, forms. But so that's one of the main guns that is under fire, which is the AR-15, and no pun intended. But the reason that it's mostly under fire is it apparently looks menacing, which is the only thing that I've come up with, because muskets back in the day were a .69 caliber bullet, which means that it's .69 inches in diameter. So it's like that big, okay? That's pretty freaking big. Not that you're going to be able to tell the difference. It looks as big as my head when I put it up. But anyway, a 223 is less than half the size of a musket bullet, which is what the founding fathers intended in their writing. Well, were using at the time of their writing. That's something they intended. But it's .69 caliber bullet, which is round, that shoots out of a musket. Per shot, does way more damage than any 223 can do. A 223, whenever it goes in, is a pierce, it's a point used for obviously farther distance to travel, which is more accurate. But whenever it shoots and it hits a target, it goes through and through, like it just choo straight through the skin. But a musket bullet was round. It was like a ball, obviously, and it was shot out of the barrel. And once it hit, it had a lot of impact force because it's twice the size of a freaking 223, and it's round. So when it hits, instead of just going through and through on contact, it's going to explode and then shatter all in people and causing lead poisoning, other types of infection. It's much harder to heal the wound. You can't just like stitch it up. It doesn't work like that. And it's just it's damaging, obviously, but I don't understand why if an AR-15 doesn't do per shot as much damage as a musket, it would be not wanted to ban the other. But like a musket, I don't understand why a musket can't be banned, but an AR-15 can when the bullet is smaller and it does less damage per shot. The only other argument that I could see is the rate of fire of the weapon, which is a semi-automatic weapon, which means every time you pull the trigger, it shoots 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Every time you pull the trigger, one bullet's going to come out until you run out of ammo. And the problem with that is, if that's the case, then whenever they shoot a pistol, which is the same rate of fire, it's a semi-automatic weapon, why aren't they trying to ban pistols? Because if you put the same amount of bullets in a pistol, it will shoot just as fast as an AR-15, and it's easier to move around. You can do this a lot quicker than you can do this. So, and a pistol also is used in 90% of all murders in America. It's actually less than that. There's going to be a whole link to it in the description. But the amount of killings with a handgun is astronomically larger than anything a AR-15 could do, which doesn't make any sense in the scheme of things. Why would they only want to ban AR-15s and assault weapons if they're not planning on taking out everything else? Because I've already told you that a musket has more damage per shot, and a pistol can shoot just as fast, and they can move it quicker. So the only thing that I can come to the conclusion of is that leftists only want to take all of your guns. They don't want to just take one or two of them. They're just going to start out with the simple fact of, this gun looks menacing. This shoots this. This shoots this. Okay? No, it's coming down to whether or not you want your Second Amendment right. Which, another thing that people are concerned about is the original writing of the Second Amendment was not just to say, oh, you get to keep your guns whenever you want them. No, that wasn't the point. That wasn't the point of... We had just gotten out of a British king, which, in fact, was tyrannical. They didn't want us to do anything over here. They were taxing us horrifically. They were killing people. They were doing all this wrong stuff, and there was nothing we could do about it because we were under the king. The king, what the king says was the way the king did it. That was just it. That's how everybody did. And we didn't want that to happen again. We didn't want the government to become so powerful that what he says go. So the Founding Fathers put the right to bear arms in place in order to protect them, in order to protect us from them. They put in a safety method that allows people like us, everyday citizens, not to be able to be overrun by the government. Because very simply put, if they can't stop us from doing what we want to do, then they're not going to be able to stop us. It's like if you have a gun in your house and we are the militia and we decide we're going to go in and we don't like the way that you're running it. We're not going to give you, like let's say everybody's getting murdered in the streets by the government, okay? We have the right to revolt against them. That is our right, because we are not owned by the government. We concede to allow the government to talk to us, to allow them to make our laws so that way everything runs smoothly. So for us to give up the right, for us to stop America's government from taking us over, seems like a no-brainer. Why would you ever want a government that most people think is corrupt and issued to take away the only way you have to defend yourself from them? It doesn't make any sense. And then once the guns are taken, drugs in America are illegal. 90% of drugs in America are illegal. Well, obviously, like illicit ones, not prescription drugs. They're not illegal. But all of those drugs that are in America are called illegal for a reason. They're not allowed to be in America. They're not supposed to be here. Yet, you see it everywhere. You hear of cases day to day about people getting drugs from some other place and they're going to jail for substance abuse or for possession of a illegal substance. So if something like that can still be in America, no problem, what makes you think that one of the most abundant resources in America, which is guns, there's over 300 million of them in America. What makes you think that just because somebody says, no, we're going to take your guns now, all of the guns are going to go away? They're going to be illegal, sure, but that doesn't stop anybody that already is not following the law to get them. There's a reason that people shoot people with guns. 90%, actually, statistics said that 80% of the time, 8 out of 10 times, a gun is being used illegally to murder somebody. 80%. Why? Why would you want to give up the right to protect yourself from other people that are just going to keep their gun anyway? They're not going to be able to tell if they have a gun or not. There's a reason it's illegal. They're hiding it. They don't want it to be known until they do something wrong and it's too late. You can't stop yourself from being shot with a knife. It's not going to happen. I mean, somebody, bang, you're done. You're done. That's it. You're not going to be able to walk up to them and stab them unless you get them like, I don't know, they're walking around a corner or something. Like, it doesn't make any sense why we would want to give that up. Another thing is, most people in America, well, I won't say most people because I trust, some people in the government, but I trust cops. I like cops. I think cops are cool. A government, once you take away the guns, the only way for you to protect yourself is for the government to step in and save you. Which means a lot of Americans, a lot of Democrats don't like cops. They don't like them. They think that they're corrupt, that they only shoot black people or this and this and this. They're racist. They're pigs. If that many people, if majority of the Democrats don't like police officers, then why would they give up their right to protect themselves, A, from a police officer if they're doing something corrupt, and B, making police officers the only way for you to be saved? Why would you want to give up that right? Why would you want to give up your only ability to protect yourself in order for all the guns to go away? Because I can assure you the crime won't go away. In Australia, there is literally no statistical evidence that says that the gun buyback worked, which is what America wants to put in place. You're not going to be able to go door to door and get rid of 300 million guns. There's no way. There's zero chance that you will ever be able to do that. And once you take away your Second Amendment, once it goes away, why would you possibly think that the rest of the amendments are still going to be in place? What makes you think that just because they take away, the government finally has the power to take away your Second Amendment, they can't turn around and take your First Amendment? Your First Amendment, which most people consider the most important amendment, relies on all the ability for all the other amendments to stay there. It's called the Bill of Rights. They're God-given rights to the people, okay? They're given by God. They're not supposed to be able to be taken away by other people. That's why they were put in place. They're not supposed to be taken away. If one's taken away, all of them are up for grabs. There's no safety in your freedom of speech once the right to bear arms is taken away. Speech, religion, everything gone out the window. Once you get rid of your Second Amendment right, you've lost the ability to protect yourself from any other right from being taken. And that is a dangerous thing. That's what happens in World War II. Germany was a Germany in World War II, they had extremely strict gun laws. It was very rare for you to get a gun. Like, they were really rare. And once Hitler rose to power, there was nothing they could do. You can't revolt against a leader if you have nothing to revolt with. There's no way for you to do it. His entire military had guns, and his people had nothing. There was nothing they could do about it. Jack crap. They were just going to sit there and do what he wanted to, because if they didn't, they were going to get shot. And that's why the Founding Fathers did that to America, was to prevent things like that from happening. They were preventing the government from getting so powerful you can't do anything about it. America not only has a problem with guns, but it has a problem with idiots thinking it's okay for guns to go away. The gun does absolutely nothing by itself. It takes somebody with a sick personality and nobody teaching them what to do with it. It takes somebody who illegally does whatever they want to pull the trigger behind it. There's no gun in America that will sit there and fire itself and kill somebody. It's only the people behind the gun that are doing it. So I think that honestly, the guns don't need to be taken away. They need to get people that know what the heck they're doing with guns in America. They need to have training. They need to do something about it. They don't need to just take away all guns because that won't solve anything. So what I propose instead is that America has mandatory training with weapons. Like, that's actually a really bad idea. I'm going to take that back. We don't need to do that. Guns are already really hard to buy in America. So the thing that we should do is we should just make some regulations stricter, but we definitely shouldn't ban all weapons, and we definitely shouldn't ban AR-15s just because they look menacing. All guns are used for sport, and some guns are used for killing people, but those are only the ones that are illegal people are using. 90% of Americans, if they own a gun, they're going to be either A, using it to shoot target practice, or B, using it to shoot an animal, which is completely okay. That's what they're designed to do, but they shouldn't be able to take away our rights for it just because somebody says something they don't like, or somebody shoots somebody because they're ill taught with a weapon, they don't know how to use it, or they're just mentally unstable. So yes, I agree that we should put more stricter background checks, and they should go through more rigorous checks and training before they can just take a firearm. But I will say, owning a firearm is not as easy as it sounds. If you've never gone and done the process to buy a gun, then you don't understand. It's actually a lot harder than it does. You do go through a background check, and it does take them a while to get back to you before you can get a gun. It's not like you just walk in the store, let me buy that one, okay, I'm gone. It's you do have to go through some stuff to get there. And so basically what it comes down to is, do you want America's government to be able to do whatever the heck they want, whenever the heck they want? Or do you still want your freedom of speech, and do you still want your ability to do what you want to without the government intruding on everything that you've done? You can't protect yourself in America if you don't have a modern firearm to do it. It's as simple as that. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. My channel will really appreciate it, and just thank you for your support. And the next topic we'll probably be talking about is up to you. How about that? We'll make it up to you. Leave a comment down below what you want to see next, and I'll talk about it, what I believe about it. Thank you. Have a nice day.